But just jumping into UNFI specifically, what I want to talk about is where that's going to go at the end of this year and where we expect that to go into 2023 and beyond. So we're deploying this L1. It's our focus to decentralize that L1 as much as we possibly can. And so decentralizing an L1 that doesn't rely on staking, or likely to be POA, means that we're going to have to assign individual addresses to things like validated data slots and things like that. So from our perspective, the best thing that we can do is start to determine how we can decentralize that as best we can. And UNFI is a very decentralized token. For those of you that go on out there and do some research and look into it, when you take a look at the token distribution of UNFI, it's actually kind of unique in the market. It's pretty well distributed. It has a very large group of people that all have a very shared and collected interest in the token. And so from our perspective, that kind of aligns perfectly with what we want to imbue into this new L1. So when I talk about what's going on with UNFI, I do anticipate it to become a lot more independent. And what that would mean is to see a lot more DAO functionality coming very, very quickly to it. That would be things like not just referendums, but referendums that can actually set and determine smart contract parameters around the token. Seeing things like what should the staking rewards be? I could see that becoming more of a public decision. And I could see that being more of a public vote that once it's gone through can be approved and basically initiated by the public as well. The key directive that I think that I want to put out there is UNFI should be constantly efforting to decentralize itself. And so, trying to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in a position where it's focusing the token in on a smaller and smaller group is not necessarily what's best for the token. And so I think that when it comes down to a DAO that does operate around UNFI, its key directive does need to be decentralization. And that puts us perfectly in line with how we can better operate this L1 into the future. It puts UNFI as a DAO a lot more in control of the smart contracts that it can operate. And that's kind of how I see it moving into 2023.